Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hello, we're live.
Huzzah. I am laying on my bed with my cat on me with my phone because I don't have enough internet.
That's just how it goes.
I did look up internet things and they all just seem like a scam.
What
I
do you
don't.
mean? There's notable. I mean, you don't. Oh, you don't have the service you used to have, right? You don't have the Visible Plus or whatever, or well, you have T-Mobile for the hotspot, but
I have T-Mobile for the hotspot and I could get like more hotspot for T-Mobile. I could do that. But no, I was looking up these like mobile Wi-Fi situations and like I found one. But it's so weird. I found one that I would want to use, but what's weird about it is that you have to pay, like you're like, oh, I want to pay for 5 gigs, but you have to use it in the next 30 days. You can't just say, hey, can I get like a consistent amount of gigs for every month? And you can pay like a day rate, like you could get unlimited gigs, so I could pay like $2.50,
mm,
which I was like, that might be a good idea because the only time that I ever need it is when I talk to you.
mm-hmm.
And then it would be like $5 or like $3 a week. So it'd end up being, I don't know, $12 a month. That might be okay. But then the fucking router thing costs like $150, which is fine, whatever. But like, there's just always stipulations, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the I was just ChatGPTing it and see what it recommended. I was like, what are kind of like Starlink equivalents? Because some of this stuff can add up for sure, like the hardware and the service.
Yeah, and I would love to have some. I was really considering that one. I can't remember the name of it.
The top ones they're saying that are equivalent to Starlink Roam would be a Viasat, which is satellite, and HughesNet, which is satellite.
Viasat. Viasat.
Equipment upfront, 0 to 300 bucks. Equipment lease is typically 15 bucks a month or a $250 lifetime buyout. And then plans start at 50 bucks a month.
See, like $50 a month seems outrageous, especially since I don't watch TV. Uh, All I do for internet is this,
But why
you
would you
know?
not just add it to the existing hotspot plan that you already have that you're already paying for? You would probably just have to pay like less than 10 bucks extra, right?
Yeah, I could do that. That was the other option. Yeah, I have to look into that. The T-Mobile hotspot, like adding it.
hmm I mean, cellular 5G mobile hotspots are T-Mobile 5G home internet, Verizon Jetpack, and
Because like
AT&T Netgear Nighthawk.
see, here's the thing though. I think that this is why I was like, oh, it'd be nice not to get T-Mobile is because I don't get any internet in my studio and I also don't get any phone reception in my studio.
Mm,
And so I think that that's why I was like, oh, it might be nice to pay for something where I could like, I don't know, do a live stream or
hmm.
like that would be the time that I would watch a video is while I'm working, in the studio. And since I can't get T-Mobile in
hmm
there, I was like, ah, fuck. You know, like if
Yeah,
I
I mean,
could get an option,
that's what you're paying for though. Like that's what they're in the business of is like the satellite service and stuff.
I'm aware.
So, I mean, you're basically paying for another phone plan. So, I mean, 50 bucks a month for a phone is not unreasonable. I don't pay that much, but
I pay
you're basically,
$35 a month.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the options it was recommending for remote off the grid with no cell signal, Starlink Roam or Viasat, RV travel in the US, T-Mobile hotspot or Starlink Roam, urban travel with good 5G. That's probably you, right? You're kind of urban, good 5G. AT&T Nighthawk or Verizon Jetpack.
Yeah.
Ocean or
Also,
offshore, Starlink, maritime or Inmarisat. That's not really
yeah.
you.
Also, I talked to the library because they were at one of the shows that I like a show that I went to this weekend just to attend. And I was like, why is the internet so bad there? And she's like, I don't know. Like the internet on their computers is really good, but she said that the Wi-Fi is like garbage. And I'm like, that doesn't help me because then I can't. And they even have little booths that I could go in and talk to you on. Maybe we'll try it on Thursday tomorrow.
But
We'll
do they
try.
have but do they have Ethernet?
I don't know. I didn't ask that question.
Because I mean, you might need a dongle to go from Ethernet to your
Yeah,
USB-C, but I mean, that's doable.
that's doable. I could do that.
I
Well,
mean,
maybe we'll
that's gonna be the best quality you can get is Ethernet. So,
Ethernet. Yeah,
I
for sure.
mean,
She said that their Ethernet computers are like solid. Yeah.
okay.
But like they have these little cubicles that I could go into and record and I could make noise,
Mm-hmm.
And but they close at 8 too, so we'd have to be done at 8.
Oh, that
um
would be a good reason to stop at that time. So,
that would be a great reason to stop at that time.
yeah, that's fine. Maybe
Yeah,
try
so
that tomorrow if we
yeah,
can.
we'll try it tomorrow and see how it goes. Uh but anyway, because everybody wants to hear my internet issues. Um
It's like
uh,
you pestering me about random shit, and I'm like, oh my God, figure it the fuck out.
you're right. You're totally right. We both have our flaws, I probably have more than you, but that's okay. Um what was it? Baby Andrew called me the other day and I was telling him that I got this like colored clay at Sika from Imco.
Yes. Have you tried
Yeah.
it?
I'm in the process of trying it and I'm making little beads with it. And he was like,
Oh,
I was like, yeah, it'd be really cool if they could just ship it to me and I could make beads. And it would be very cost effective if I made beads with it because then it's not that, it's not expensive per bead or whatever. And he
yeah.
was like, it's really easy to make your own clays. And I was like, you know what? You just shut up. And I was like, listen, I am totally fine paying for something that is a pain in the ass to figure out. And he was like, you are a conundrum. You're like the cheapest person alive, but you're willing to pay like $4 a pound for like this colored clay. And I was like,
Right.
yes, I
I
am.
mean, that is pretty convenient when you don't need that much. I mean, if you're throwing big pots and you're trying to color clay,
Yeah.
like obviously it makes sense. But I mean, I think the blocks they had at Encika were like 3 pounds or two
Yeah,
pounds or
they're
something.
3 pounds. And I've been, and I like to make like 50 beads or whatever. I tore off like not even a tenth of it.
Yeah,
So
you buy all the colors you want one time. You probably spend 50 to 75 bucks and you're like, I'm done with it. I've got enough for until I lose interest, you know?
right. And if I gain interest, they can just ship it to me for a flat rate fee.
Right. Yeah.
And I
Convenience is
don't
worth the money. Yeah,
I
and you don't
agree.
have a lot of space. You're
I
not going to be
don't.
able to just grab and go. You're going to have to buy mason stains too if you went and made your own. Like,
Yeah, and then you have to do all this fucking testing and by the time you're done testing, you're like, I'm over this. I'm done with this project because this is awful.
right.
I don't want to test shit. I just want it to work.
There you go. That's the convenience you're paying for. Let them test it. That's their job. That's what you're
Yeah,
paying for.
exactly. Anyway, you guys should check out IMCO. IMCO. They have really cool clays. Now, what I will say is that just by using them, like they do have a really high they have a really high stain content. So when they shrink, if you're putting a hole in it or whatever, if you're moving it a lot and manipulating it, it tends to crack, which I'm not a huge fan of. But that does seem to be you know, what you get when you have colored clays anyway. So yeah.
Is the shrinking m- does the shrinking matter with the stain amount, or is it just the clay, the base of the clay body is more like a porcelain, so it's like 15% or something?
No, it's not the shrinking as much as I think it's got such a high stain content in there that the there's not as much bonding, so when it does shrink, it
Oh.
releases. That's my very unscientific theory.
Hmm. Is it the dragon fruit too, where it's got the specks in it as well as the color?
Yeah, that's another thing. It's speckled too. Like, how could you go wrong with this? You can't.
Yeah, that clay looks awesome, even without the colors. So if you were to look up IMCO, their website is clayimco.com, but you can just Google IMCO dragon fruit and see what it looks
It's
like.
so
It's pretty
cool.
damn cool.
Yeah, it's
It's not
so
like
cool.
like you've used Dark Star, which is more like a white stoneware with black specks. This is like mostly like a ton of black specks.
Yeah, it's like heavy spec. Heavy, small, tiny. It's like dirt. I don't want to say it's dirty, but it is. It
It
feels
ki-
like if you had coffee grounds on a countertop.
it's kind of
That's
like
what
a
it feels like.
very heavy cookies with a cookies and cream ice cream.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, heavy on the cookies. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I
I don't
like it. And
know what glazes look like on it in general, but
the colors are very vibrant. And what I love about it is that they are backed in he is a scientist and she used to be a potter or is a potter, and they're married, I think, and they have a studio at their space, and like it always feels good when you're like, backed in science. Nice. And like they don't have to make clays. They just kind of like figured out that they can and they should.
yeah, I mean, IMCO is industrial minerals company, so
Yeah.
they mostly have a lot of like raw materials and stuff that they sell, but they also have, clay bodies and they
Yeah.
mostly sell Laguna, it looks like on their website,
Yeah.
but yeah, they got their own clay bodies they're making too, so they had a
Yeah.
great selection at Enseek.
Yeah, I got every single they fucking talked me into the fruit salad situation, and and so I got like every single one.
Yeah, they got some good options here. It looks like the website has 20-pound bags though. I wonder if they've got smaller versions on their website. I'm not digging too much, but yeah. So you experiment with beads.
Beads. I'm back to beads. Here's the thing. I like beads. I I don't really need to do anything to make money, even though that would be nice, but maybe I just want to make beads. And
Are you or how are you gonna like connect them and stuff? Are you gonna use what were you were getting metal chains and stuff before?
I was thinking
Are
about
you
selling the beads wholesale or like just
oh
as beads.
just sell them and let people figure it out themselves?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I was thinking about it. And
Okay.
something like they're simple and like I can make them pretty cost effective because they're fucking beads. And
Mm-hmm.
also they take no time because they're simple beads. They're not like extravagant. So,
Yeah, I have no idea who is in the market for wholesaling beads, but
dude, honestly, neither do I, but maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. But I do know that if I went to like a market with a bunch of beads and was like, make your own bracelet, $20, I bet people would fucking jump at it.
mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you
Okay.
have every color, if you have the rainbow, like I could go to Pride and sell
Mm-hmm.
rainbow bead bracelets.
There you go, your whole booth. Beads. Search
Beads.
through beads.
Beads.
People would be clogging up the table and then they'd be like, "What's over there? I can't see what's going on. What's over there?"
Beads. Just somebody in the background. Get your beads. Beads. And everybody be like, bees? Is there honey? Be like, no, add a
Beads.
D.
Beads.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing great. A lot's going on. I just did a workshop in Nashville this
Oh,
past
yes.
weekend, Sodaposium, which was it was it was focused on soda firing, but it wasn't like I think anybody could have attended this and got value out of it without having any experience with soda firing. I would say the focus on soda was probably 10 to 15%. There was a lot of other instruction and techniques we were learning that weren't dependent on firing with soda. So, very recommended. I chatted with a lot of different people there. I didn't know anybody going there, so I kind of made new friends and chatted with the presenters and got to see some cool techniques. I might try some of them, and we got to put a piece in their Cone Six soda firing. So we kind of gave them a piece on Friday. We glazed it with their studio glazes, and then put it in the kiln on Friday. They fired it all day Saturday. We unloaded it at the end of the workshop on Sunday. Before we went home, my piece ended up looking pretty good. I shared that on Instagram stories, and I think planning on getting a couple interviews with some folks for the podcast. One, the facilities at the Clay Lady campus in Mid South Ceramics, amazing. So, planning on getting the probably the owner and um the kind of day-to-day person, the COO. Sounds fancy to say COO for like a ceramic studio, but it's the operations guy, head of operations. So, um that should be good. And then there was an artist that was one of the presenters that I want to have on, so we'll chat with him. You
Did it
I
give you did it give you any ideas for your own workshops, or did you like come back inspired for your own?
My own workshops. So it wasn't really, I would say it was more equivalent to ClayCon West
Oh,
in the
I see, I
structure
see.
of it. So it was pretty lecture heavy. The whole audience was about 75 people,
Oh wow.
but it was at one studio. So it was like a good size for one studio. It would be a bit much if the studio couldn't accommodate that many people, but 75 people, and they basically split everybody up into two groups. They had six presenters total, and day one you saw three of the presenters, day two you saw the other three. So
And
you
they
kind of
flip flop.
you kind of stayed with your group
Yeah. So it's
in
like
the one
vacation
room,
Bible study.
and then yeah, you swapped rooms for the day two. The same schedule kind of applied in both of those rooms both days. The audience is just flipped. So you got to see everybody. There was like two longer sessions which were 2.5 hours long, and those were like guest presenters that were kind of welcomed in that don't do it. I mean, it's only the second year they've done it, but guest presenters and then the founders of Sodaposium, which are also working artists and potters, did 1 hour blocks. So it was like morning long session, afternoon long session, and then a short session in the middle, like right after lunch.
Okay.
So it was a
Are
good.
you gonna go next year?
So they do it every 2 years. Well, the last one
Oh,
they did was
okay.
3 years ago, but that was because the campus was under renovations last year. So yeah, I think I would like to go again. I mean, I want to see who the artists are, but I think I would go again. It was a good time. And it wasn't overwhelming. It was kind of the right structure. And if I don't know how you would have done there, because like you're less of a sitting in a chair watching people demo. Like I don't know that you would enjoy that as much, but if people are kind of into that and you get access to ask them questions while they're demoing and ask them about, we were able to kind of ebb and flow with questions. Like we could ask them about their soda firing process, or we can ask them about the technique that they're working on in the moment, or
Yeah.
we can ask them other stuff. Like and I don't know, it's hard to tell because I'm like that guy that's gonna ask questions as we're watching, and whether it's like I'm not gonna ask in the moment, like how did you exactly do that with your technique you're showing us right there. I'm asking more high level questions. Like a lot of them are university teachers, so I'm asking them like, how are you um what was it? I'm trying to think of like it was with the students that you're teaching that are graduating with art degrees, like how are you preparing them for what
Business.
grad after graduation is going to be like?
Yeah.
Um, you can hear some of the backstory
You
of.
were interviewing them. That's what you were
I'm
doing.
basically asking interview type questions. Yes.
Yeah, you were Ryan Durbaning the shit out of that, is what you
Yeah.
were.
So I don't, I mean, I didn't get any shit from people, but I don't know if that's like I mean, I'll leave room for other people. I'm like, oh no, like I have a question, but if somebody else has a question, like please ask it.
Right. No, your questions are fantastic. And I know that the people in there that did the guest ask probably enjoyed you asking certain questions because the questions that you have are very thoughtful. I would like to interject saying, funnily enough, I started reading a book today and I realized that I would never, also, I think you would also never be able to do this, be in the army because they just like throw you into situations. And I'm like, oh, but I have like 15 questions. Can I ask? Like, and
Yeah, it's like, dude,
and I
don't
think that
ask.
we're the same. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm reading this book called Win, and it's about.
How did I know that she was gonna drop out? Her thing was so staticky, and then she just falls out. I almost knew it. Here we go. Here we go. Are you back?
I am. What happened?
I don't know. Your sound was jumping back and forth, and it sounded a little robotic-y. I don't know
Oh
if it
no.
did for other people, but it sounded a little off for a couple minutes there, and then you just dropped. So
Okay, well, what did you hear last?
you were talking about, in the army, and they kind of just put you into situations, and you
Oh
don't
yeah,
get to
so
ask questions.
I'm reading this book called The Women, and it's about Vietnam and the nurses in Vietnam, and how like I was thinking about like she goes into it and she's like, I have questions, and they're like, too bad, and they just like shove her into the situation, and I was like, and I asked so many fucking questions at work, uh, and like Christina is so sick of me asking questions. I'm pretty sure she's like, what do you want to ask now? Because I'm so curious, and I feel like you're curious too, and we just wouldn't be able to be in those situations.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I was almost waiting. It's kind of funny because you kind of get to a moment where they know what to expect from you because you've been sitting in a room for like 2.5 hours. I'm almost waiting for the present. If the presenter and I had more rapport, I feel like they would be like, anybody got any questions? And then they would call me out and be like, Ryan, I bet you have a question. What question do you have?
Right, exactly. Like, and I mean, I don't have questions as much when we're together because you take care of that. But, um, but by myself, if I don't know something, like, I'm pretty sure some of the upper people at Speedball think that I want to become an upper person at Speedball just because I've asked so many fucking questions about the budget and like all the things.
Hmm.
I'm like, no, 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 no. I love where I am. I'm just curious.
Right. Yeah, I actually wanted to ask. So Julia Galloway is one of the artists that I want to have on that we're gonna chat. And I actually wanted to ask her a little bit about some of the because she's a university teacher, and I'm curious if teaching in that atmosphere of a workshop versus the university is different because the audience is different, and then the types of questions you're getting are different. And
Yeah.
people are more bought into going to the workshop because they spent money specifically to be there rather than going through a curriculum that you're required to get a degree and that kind of thing. But um yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because there was another attendee that asked me at lunch. She was saying, "So are you a teacher because you were kind of asking teacherly like questions?" And I think a lot of it was they're university level teachers, and I'm curious like how they go about talking to students about these types of realities of working artists and
Yeah.
making a living and all of those things because I don't know what they're being taught at that level. Like I know kind of how independent artists and how we're doing it, and we talk about it with people, and the type of questions we get are a lot of they tend to focus on business and that side of it. So I'm curious how lecturers in that setting that are more academic and have always typically been in the academic world tend to answer those type of questions.
Yeah,
So that's kind of
for
why I
sure.
tend to have interest in asking that of them. And then just other things. I mean, it is nice learning from people that are university professors because like they tend to be more art first, business second, and we a lot of it I'm fine if we don't even get to business questions or business talking discussions in those workshops because we're there to kind of learn techniques and
Yeah.
a lot of them aren't actively working artists, so they might not have the same amount of insight that I might want from somebody that's going to have a lot more to say about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was a great experience. I would go back and yeah, looking forward to having that chat with some folks.
Yeah, I definitely knew you had a good time because you texted me immediately. It was like, I want to have these people on the podcast. And
I
I was like,
texted you that on Friday, I think, which is
yeah,
before I even saw any of the presentations. The first one was just this campus is amazing. They've got good organization here. Like
we should talk to them.
these are definitely going to be people I want to talk to. And then I just had like a glimmer of like Julia would be great to talk to. And then I sat in on her talk on Saturday and I was like, okay, that like I made the right decision. Like she's definitely going to be somebody that I want to talk to. And I just like had a feeling.
Did you talk to her about talking to her?
I did. Yeah.
Cool.
I talked to both of them, so they're both game. So
Nice. I still need to talk to Bill, the science guy.
Bill the science guy, not Bill Nye, folks.
Not Bill Nye.
Bill Collins, I think, is
Yeah,
his
I
last
think
name.
that's his name. I have his phone. I'm pretty sure I have his phone number in my phone. I think I put it in as Bill the
Really?
science guy. He lives in Fort Collins. Or wait, where does he live? He lives near my parents. Somewhere near my parents. Maybe in Boulder. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah, very eventful. I almost wish I had an extra couple days to like digest it because it's a lot of information and I've got ideas that I want to like. I don't know. It's kind of like in Sika. You get back and you're like right back into the thick of it
yeah.
immediately,
Into the thick of it.
and I don't have any time to just focus on it. But we'll be going on vacation next week, so I'll be able to at least make some notes and kind of think about it some more, so I can come back afterwards with some
Yeah.
action items. But uh, yeah, the only other thing we did slip casting for the first time yesterday with my new studio assistant helping out because she does slip casting. So
Wow. Fun.
we made a mold of some cocktail glasses and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping she can slip cast some while I'm on vacation, and I'll come back to, I don't know, 12 to 16 cocktail glasses and we can experiment with them and see how it goes from
Nice.
there. But yep, new stuff going, new stuff happening.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, what is it? It is 93 degrees inside of this van right
Oh
now.
my gosh, you're in a hot box, literally.
Well, I opened up the back door. I never know if my temperature thermometer actually works or not. I think it does. But
You need some
yeah,
air movement in there. Jeez.
I opened up the door and I'm under the fan, so I'm fine. But I've been falling asleep like really quickly in the mid-afternoon when it's really fucking hot for some reason because I'm tired probably.
At
I don't
work?
know. No, like when I get back from work.
Oh,
But also, I was going to say that I installed my portable AC in my van. I cut two holes in the back wall. Now we have to replace both the doors if we ever sell this baby.
oh, okay. Why does it need two holes?
I don't know. A, it's got like it's got an intake in the front and then two outtakes or something in the back. I don't know why it needs two air vents in the back, but that's what it has. So that's what it did.
Hmm.
Normal AC units have two as well, so I don't know. Like portable AC ones, they typically have two.
Oh,
So-
I thought you just put it in a window unit and that was just an exhaust in a way
No,
where
I'm talking about like the portable ones, like they stand up. And
Oh,
yeah, those ones typically have two. I don't know very much about them, but yeah, this one has been doing pretty good. It does suck up a lot of energy, but it's been fully charged when I get back to the van every day, so that's pretty nice.
yeah, because I mean, you pretty much have to sleep with it. Does it have a timer so you can kind of have it in intervals?
I think it does, but I need to set up the app. Um, and like if you put it on eco mode, it's pretty solid. Like you can run it for a pretty long time. But and honestly, once you get to like 60 degrees outside, you just using the fan is good enough, you know?
Right. I
So
mean, 60 is great for most people.
65 is great for me. 70 is great for me, honestly. Um, but yeah, no, it's I do think that it was a very good purchase.
Nice.
So that's good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure once you get the end of the season, you're gonna be like even more so.
Well,
Definitely
unfortunately,
couldn't imagine going through the summer without that.
I might move because of the summer. I'm not gonna lie. Um, unfortunately, my regular power station had an error code, and apparently it's the too hot error code. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought
What?
yeah, it's like it got too hot, and I felt it. It did not feel too hot, so I don't know what.
Wow. I
And
mean,
so
I'm
I
sure it's not like in proximity to just direct sunlight through windows and stuff, is it?
no, the van was totally closed off, and honestly, like when you open up the van after the day, it's not terrible in here. It could be worse. And I have an exhaust fan that moves air through. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, does it actually have an air intake or something where it's supposed to exhaust from so it
It's
stays
not a fan,
it cools
I
itself?
thought. See, now I've had issues with it getting too cold, and I'm used to that.
Right.
But yeah, and this one threw me totally on left field because I've been in hotter weather than this. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That's what I
don't
was wondering. Maybe there's like a blanket that's covering it so
know.
it's not venting well enough or something.
Now it's in the same spot it always is. And
Oh,
but I just unhooked the input. Maybe it'll reset itself and be fine.
dang. Yeah, I mean
But
you can't have that power bank go out.
thankfully it can still give energy if it's got the error code. It's just the input. So that's good. Yeah. Like
No.
my fridge didn't die, you know.
Do a lot of those power banks like they're limited on how much input they can have because if it's too strong of
Yes.
like a solar, it's not compatible and it's going to overheat it.
Well, yeah, it'll just straight up not intake that amount. So I think honestly, I
Mm,
think the top intake for my power bank is probably like 400, 400 watts per hour. But like the my other power bank, that's a better one, that's smaller, the input's like 600 or 800. So
mm,
so yeah.
okay.
But I
Cool.
only have 300 watts on the roof, and you can typically count it to be like 70% of what the actual wattage is. So usually I get like 180 on a good day.
Okay.
And um so 300 watts on the roof, and then I have 300 watts portable. That's what's charging the air conditioner. So
Mm. Whew. You just got a new set of conditions you got to figure out on the road.
I know.
Van life. The beauties of van life.
I know. Eventually I'll get solar on the roof and hook it straight into the AC only. And
Ooh.
that can move from the AC to my other power bank that's in the back. And so I really,
Because you got the separate battery for the AC so it can actually store.
well, technically now I have three batteries. So I have the separate battery for the AC, and it can store like 1800 watts, I think. Something ridiculous. And then I also have another power bank that's 800 watts. And that one I leave in the back, and that charges like my phone, and it runs my fan, and mostly just that. And that can be run like I can power that up through solar too, but it only takes an hour to charge if I took it inside to the studio and charged it. Um, yeah, so If you ever have a van and you don't put in like battery power, I definitely recommend having solar hookups in the front and in the back. That's my van life tip of the day.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these banks you don't probably want to be moving them around a ton, so
Yeah. Some of them are fairly portable, but yeah.
okay. Whew.
Anyway, um, Brian. Okay, one last thing before we start talking about what we're actually supposed to be talking about, since are we even gonna get to what we're supposed to talk about?
Yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's go.
Okay. Then I'll ask my question tomorrow. Um
Okay, yeah, wait till tomorrow. We got more time tomorrow. We don't have a deadline. I got to get to trivia here soon. I got trivia at 8 o'clock
are you going with
with
Erica?
Rachel. No, with Rachel. We're going to the friends of ours that host it down in Bellevue.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um cool. So first we should talk about kilns.
L&L Kilns. I gotta fire
LNL.
mine up. Whew. Erica did a
Bruh.
great job glazing a bunch of stuff before I left, so ready to load that bad boy up and get it firing.
You know, Erica's smart enough. She could probably just fire it herself because those kilns could be fired by anybody.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, it's already preset. Just be like, hey, set it on glaze. It's got even if you, I mean, if you load the nice fancy one with the Genesis, I could just be like, Erica, set it on user one or user whatever, user three, I think is what my custom one is. User three, turn the fan on, start.
Go.
That's it.
Boom.
Or turn the vent on, not the fan, but yeah, turn the vent on.
Yeah, I mean like Preston has never used one of the fancy controllers and I showed him in 2 seconds how to use it and he's been using my kiln for tests. And it's like easy peasy, no questions asked.
Hmm. Have you ever made a mistake when you've clicked through the Bartlett's with the where you put the program, you type the number of segments, and then you go to the first segment and first thing, and you go through. I always worry that going through that I'm gonna forget something, or I select the wrong program and I'm gonna start at the wrong one or something.
Yeah, one time we did that. One time like on my old kiln, we did that and I think that I hit review program and it like reset and never start the actual kiln.
Oh, ew.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
mean, better to not start the kiln than start it and do it wrong, I guess. But
unless you're on a time
oh
crunch.
yeah, yeah, time crunch. You don't want to do
But
that.
yeah. Yeah, I mean like there's always things that have gone wrong and I've definitely fired the wrong schedule many times.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, you could start it with the Genesis. You can start it, look at the screen if you need to see like what segment we're currently in, you know, what the whole program is without having to push buttons worrying that you're going to stop the program or like once it's started on the old controller, I don't want to touch anything. Because I'm like, I don't know which buttons you can. I mean, I know I could hit like one, two, or three for the different thermocouples and see what the temperatures are at those readings, but I don't really want to touch anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and like what, the Genesis, if you live in a place with internet, unlike me, um, you can set it up to your phone and like see what temperature it's on if you're like one of those
Hmm.
nervous people.
Yeah. I just have the free version of that app. It's
Yeah, the free version's fine.
I think it's Kiln Aid
Yeah.
is the name of it. And it's just it kind of shows you the live view. But if you pay for a certain service for it, I don't know if it's the exact same Kiln Aid, but you have a paid version. It's got more like historical information, or I think you can see more of the whole program or the graph or whatever.
Yeah. And Kilnade, we're not going to recommend the unfree version until you pay us. So a tit for tat situation. Um anyway, yeah.
So that's the L and L. I've got the E23T, which is 7 cubic foot. I love it. I've been using it. It's good for my production level. I can really pack the shit out of a bisque firing in there. I can pack quite a bit for the glaze firing. Really love the size of it. And yeah, they got all kinds of them on their website, different sizes. They all have the Genesis controller if you're getting a new one. So, all those are going to have all the bells and whistles that we've been talking about.
And they all have the element channels.
Yep, element channels, so you can get those changed out pretty easily. Don't have to worry about any pins or anything like that. And yeah,
Yeah.
Becca, what is the website where they can find all this good stuff?
Hotkilns.com.
There was there's a little comment on I don't look through Spotify that much, but I did look and see the comments on one of the episodes, and somebody said, "Oh, you got a new L&L ad. No more Becca singing. Sad face." And then I was like, "No, no, no, no. It was just a one-off with I don't know if it might have been one of the Taylor ones uh or one that I did, but yeah.
Yeah.
So they
What
appreciate the singing. They want that the
what
little
would this
jingle.
world be without my horrible singing?
Gotta get a little jingle in there.
And let's be clear, I'm not bad at singing. I just know how to sing horribly.
There you go.
Yeah.
We going make her the moment.
Yeah, let me grab my phone. Okay. Maker of the moment. I'm
You
moving
want to
you.
start or you want me to?
Hold on. Okay. Wait a second. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. I will start, and my person is Potted by Jess. And she has 10K, so we're right at the max. And
Potted by Jess. Your audio cut out there for a second. It sounded like you said potted by Jeff. Jess,
Potted
Jess.
by Jess. And her name is Jessica Guerrero.
Guerrero, I think.
Yep. And looks like she's doing pottery classes sometimes, and she's doing handmade pottery. And I think what kind of like struck me was that she's making all these miniatures, and they're so cute. Like little butter and little pasta and little tomatoes and
Mm-hmm.
little corn.
Yeah, her
And
booth is very it's very like she's out of Columbus, Ohio, by the way, so not too far from me. But it's very I don't know, it's like quilted and like patterns
it's
and
warm.
yeah, it's very
It's
it's
warm.
it's kind of like a cottage feel to it, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like she's doing a lot of strawberries and cute little things. And I love the charms um as something I've been totally into
Oh yeah, there are
recently.
charms. What are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they're little like sardines in a can on one of them.
Yeah.
A
And
little strawberry basket.
yeah, and so, like I want to do charms, and I feel like she's fulfilling my dream of doing charms. So, except for she might be working a little too hard on her charms, I would work less hard because I'm lazy. But
She's
working
got
too
a
hard
hot
in a
dog
good
charm.
way.
She got hot dog
She has a
charms and
hot.
like bow tie pasta charms.
You could get that for Erica. Yeah, she has a
Cute.
cheese charm and a butter charm, and they're really cute. And so, yeah, and her mugs are cute too. I'm just obsessed with the charms. Um,
Is that how you
so
found her from the charms?
what?
Is that how you found her? Was from the charms?
No, I found her because I like went looking because I'm short on makers.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw her cups and I was like, damn, those are cute. And then I opened it up and I was like, charms. So yeah, and what's stupid is that I would never wear a charm bracelet. I just fucking love them. Also, she has ghost mugs, and they're fucking cute as shit. Like, a ghost holding an Easter egg and a ghost holding a heart cake and a ghost holding a watering his plants and a ghost dog. They're very cute. So anyway, that's gonna be the picture instead of the
Mm,
charms because the picture is really cute.
very nice. Jessica Guerrero, potted by Jess, out of Columbus, Ohio. Looks like she already followed me too. Just followed her. There we go. Alrighty, mine is. I think it's just Cater Boy is how you say it.
Like a skater
Cater
boy. He was
boy.
a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy."
Yes, but he's a Cater Boy. His name is
He
Ronan
was a
Kyle
cater
Peterson.
boy. He was a cater boy. He said, "See you later, boy."
And
He
then it
made some pottery for her. Okay, I'm finding it.
and it looks like his pottery business is Nine Toes Pottery. Very interesting name.
Oh, I went to his regular Instagram. Oh, wait, I see. I'm here with you. Okay.
Yeah, Cater Boy.
I love those.
So the reason I picked him is I already had him on my list, but he was actually at Sodaposium. I saw his pot at the cup exchange that we had. I didn't get his pot, but I saw it at somebody next to me after the exchange happened, and I was like, I recognize that. How do I know that? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I follow him. I was gonna do him on the maker of the moment at some point, and then I actually went up to him and said, hey, by the way, I do this podcast. We have this segment that we do, and you were on our list that I was gonna call you out and shout you out soon. And he thought I was asking for him to be on the podcast, and I was like, no, 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 like we're gonna do this thing, and um, he was a little thrown off,
And it
but
was and it was awkward.
no, it wasn't awkward. I was kind of like just spewing a bunch of words, and it wasn't like piecing together right. So he was like, "Oh, I don't do any like public speaking anymore," and I was like, "No, no, no, I'm not asking you to be on. I was just saying I'm gonna shout you out on the podcast. If you see us shouting you out, that's what it is."
That's good that he didn't want to speak because um
Yeah, that would be kind of awkward if he was super excited about being on. Thank you
and
so
you're
much
like,
for
"No, no,
being on.
no, no. I don't know you." And also like, "No." But
But
I
I love
probably
your pots.
probably would have caved and been like, "Yeah, come on the podcast." Like, sure.
So his name's Ronan. He was at the event. He's got a lot. How is that? I'm trying to think. I think it's low fired, and it's some of it is soda fired, but a lot of it you can't really tell that it kind of looks like it's oxidation fired in a lot of it.
I'm gonna add Skater Boy to this. Yep. Skater Boy.
Nice. But yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of nice line work. I don't know if it's all glazing that's using the line work. It looks like it's probably some wax resist with like a red clay body underneath. There's some glazes with maybe some glaze dots of other colors on there. It looks like some slip effects. Yeah, they're just really interesting shapes. It is all low fire. Looks like maybe Kono 3 or somewhere around there. Yeah, I think that looks oxidation fired. Okay.
Probably gonna get mad at me for posting that he was. An, yeah, he's gonna get mad at me for posting Avril Lavigne. But that's exactly what I thought of when I heard his name. I sorry, not sorry,
For Cater
Cater Boy.
Boy.
Um, his style is exactly what I want my style to be, but can't achieve. So appreciate that.
How would you explain it? Because I think it is a lot of, I think it's a lot of wax and slip dot or under, I don't know.
It's
I think it's glaze.
it's geometric patterns of color with like lots of different colors, but like asymmetrically applied.
And it's a lot of, the clay bodies are a lot of like red, low fire,
Yeah.
kind of underneath everything. So it really warms up a lot of the pieces.
Yeah.
So really nice looking stuff. And it looks like some of it's hand thrown, some of it's wheel thrown, and some of it's hand built. So got a good assortment here. Out of North Carolina.
Where is he in North Carolina?
Um, I want to say he was near Teresa that was one of the presenters. Let's see, what part of North Carolina is he at? Um, words. Grew up in Poplar, North Carolina, Chapel Hill,
Oh,
which is near Raleigh, I think.
yeah, I think so. What I found out is that nobody actually knows where anything is in North Carolina.
Well, I know
Like,
Chapel Hill is where the University of North Carolina is at, I think. So,
yeah,
and
so I
that's
think it is near Raleigh.
not too far from Raleigh, Durham area. But he does some soda firing with one of the presenters that was there, Teresa. So,
Nice, nice, nice.
but yeah, really nice work. All right. Onward. What is next? We want to go to the listener questions and topic for the day.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to read the first listener question and it kind of ties into the second one. The first one we can kind of answer sort of short and sweet and then kind of go into the second one because they do kind of overlap. So the first one is from Janet from Jello.Designs. Janet,
Yellow.
thank you for always sending us questions. It reads, how does Instagram or social media in general convert to sales? I sell on Etsy and Instagram doesn't allow me to add a link to my Etsy page. I don't know why that would be a limitation because I I can do that. I
You
mean,
can do it in stories. I don't know if you can do it on a post.
yeah, I mean, you can't do it on posts. Yeah, I can do it on my bio, but yeah, on posts, yeah, I think for the posts, you got to be more subtle about it. I think it's a little, I'm gonna say tacky, but I think it's a little not what people want to see when the caption and the subject of the post is about selling.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be like, make it so good of photo or the way that you're showing the piece that people want it so that they'll ask about it rather than offering it up front of like, this is for sale. Do you want it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily the algorithm that's determining whether it's worth. I'm curious if there is something in the algorithm behind the scenes that's looking at captions and looking for the word shop or online or Etsy or whatever, and it's analyzing that text to de-rank, or if it's truly neutral by putting that stuff in there, and then when customers stumble upon it, they're less likely to engage with it because they see words like that kind of not triggers them, but it turns them off because that's like the intent behind it. I'm not really sure, but I know I tend to get turned off sometimes when I see that's the focus of a post when it doesn't seem like they're trying to build enough of a story about what it is or something they're excited about from it and it just feels like an ad to sell something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the whole linking thing. Yeah, you can link in the stories. You can do the links in your bio, but other than that, I think just putting the link in your bio directly to your shop is gonna reduce the most friction so that if people are stumbling upon you, they see you on a random Tuesday and they look through your feed and they see some of your work and they want to see what's available to buy. Just make it easy. Have the link in your bio go directly to your shop. So it's like one click.
Yeah. You can also use something like ManyChat, which is something that
Yep.
Sephora uses and I use and sometimes use it. And that's the thing that's like, comment this and I'll send you a link.
Hmm. Yeah, so you kind of set things up behind the scenes. You associate your account with the mini chat service, and then you kind of have keywords that you are listening for
Yeah.
in the comments. And then when somebody comments that, mini chat is able to auto message them with whatever you configure for them to be sent.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a good way to cut out some of that. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend that for somebody that's just trying to sell work and they want to say comment sold in to get a link. I don't, because a lot of it you're only selling one piece.
Yeah, I was just saying like if you'd had an update or something like that, you know,
Yeah.
and say
Or if it
comment
was,
update and it would
yeah, or
link
if
you
there's
to.
a prompt that you want to get people to sign up for your email list, maybe you say sign me up or comment maybe like comment something funky, comment toad or whatever, and then I'll send you the whatever. I don't know. And then you can send them a link to sign up for the email list or get their email and manually sign them up or
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's different ways to do it. I think you definitely need to continually find creative ways to get people's emails to get that email list constantly building. And I try to do ways of like segmenting people so I'm getting their emails in the right pool so that I'm only sending emails to them when it's relevant for what they've shown interest in.
Yeah.
So like that's a way to continue to reach people directly that have already shown interest rather than trying to hope that they're going to see your post about an update or about a piece that's available. I think you can. I think you can also like, if you post stories of pots or of your booth setup, putting something subtle in there of if you see anything that you're interested in, let me know. It's just like a
Yeah.
soft call to action or like a soft sale. It's not it's not in your face,
Yeah, and
but
if you're like don't have a ton of followers, doing that manually is pretty easy. Then they could like comment and you could just send them a link right away.
right. Yeah, I think there's ways to remove friction from the customer side and then you take on the burden of the behind the scenes back and forth that you have to do with whether you're going to create an Etsy listing for it or you're going to handle it through DMs with give me your email and I'll send you an invoice if you go that route to get payment or if you
Hmm.
go back and forth with send me your address so that I can send it and then I'll give you a quote for shipping, or you just say, here's how much the price is, here's the shipping price, it's flat for US. Pay me through PayPal or Venmo or whatever. And then you got to get their address. Like it kind of becomes cumbersome. So a lot of times these days I like to just create an Etsy listing for them if they truly showed interest and just send them directly to the Etsy link.
Yeah.
Cause I don't, it's too much work to handle. And they can go through the payment. You don't have to say, "Oh, well, here's my Venmo account name," and
You can do that through Square though too. You can make an item and sell it online and it'll
mm,
collect like if you have it set up to ship from Square, it'll collect their information and add a shipping cost and all that stuff too.
it's like is it called like a payment link? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a single item you create, and then there's a payment link associated with it that's unique.
I find that that's an easy way to do flash type sales because it's a quick, just a link that you send, you know?
Yeah, that removes you having to get their email address.
Yeah.
and then make an invoice for them and send them the invoice and hope they see it and pay for
Yeah,
it and all that.
but I do believe you have to have shipping profiles in Square, like for Square Online. So keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a few ways you can do it, but I don't know. I don't really handle too many direct sales these days with Instagram. I definitely don't do it on Facebook either. I mean, there might be inquiries that people make, but usually I kind of handle those. If it's like a commission-based thing, I'll handle that offline with an invoice with Square.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'll just send them a link to, I mean, you make it easy for them to find your online shop, and that's kind of as much as I want to do. It's not like I'm not going to engage with somebody that wants to buy something, but you know, I kind of want them to show a little toward me of like I'm willing to message this guy that I'm interested in this piece or comment on their post that I'm interested in this piece. Is it for sale? And I'll answer them. I'll be like, yeah, I've got two of these. Here's the link, or let me DM you and I'll say how much it is. And because they might change their tune once they know how much the actual price is.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you just got to play around with it and see what's comfortable for you. Because
Yeah.
like I haven't done flash sales in a long time. I've done them a couple times, but it just becomes like kind of not spammy, but it's just like a lot of work to do a bunch of the posts. And you like if you're planning ahead to be like, I'm gonna post these 10 things and it's gonna be great. People are gonna contact me. Like, I don't know. I think you need like dedicated time to focus on tackling that if you've got enough of an audience that's gonna be going back and forth with you. And a lot of times I don't have that like set time that I want to focus on doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, you can make that happen if you say I'm gonna host this flash sale on Sunday at 11 a.m. You kind of build up a little bit of hype of it, and then you post it and make it a manageable size. So there's not so many pieces, but it's also intriguing enough of people have already shown interest in certain things that you're gonna put on the flash sale,
Yeah.
and then you can handle the back and forth with them.
Potters, let's talk about kiln shelves. If you're still dealing with heavy, fragile, or warped shelves, it's time for an upgrade. Advancer kiln shelves are the thin, lightweight, and ultra-durable solution you've been looking for. Made from nitride-bonded silicon carbide, these shelves are stronger than traditional shelves, but a fraction of the weight, saving your back and maximizing your kiln loading space. They also have much better thermal conductivity than cordierite shelves, allowing for more efficient firings. And cleanup? That's a breeze. Their smooth, non-porous surface resists glaze runs, meaning less scraping and more time making. Advancer kiln shelves come in a variety of sizes for top and front-loading kilns. Becca uses hers in her small L&L plug-in fire kiln, while Ryan uses his in top-loading electric and soda kilns. If you're serious about pottery for the long term, fire smarter and increase your overall productivity with Advancer kiln shelves. Visit kilnshelf.com to learn more and level up your kiln today.
Did you do anything on Facebook back in the day?
Oh my God, so many things, so many fucking things.
Because you could link on Facebook. That's not a problem.
Yeah, but I never linked. I always did it by hand. Let me tell you, my flash sales were a fucking moment.
Well, your flash sales were a little different. What can you explain what they were? It's been a long time since there's probably a lot of people that haven't been around since you first talked about those.
Oh, Jesus. Um,
They were great money makers from what I remember.
they were great money makers. Fuck. And I had the community to back it up too, which was nice because like most of it wasn't shipping. You basically had to be in the state if you wanted the flash sale, you know. Um, some of it, not all of it, but so I would like advertise that I was gonna have a flash sale. I would say what time that flash sale started, and I would say sometimes there would be like times that would have certain advantages or not. And the
Oh, so if
flash
you
sale,
ordered in the first hour, you got a better discount than if you ordered 4 hours later.
correct. I
Okay.
usually did that when I did like gift cards and that was like a fucking deal. Like we did
Right.
a double it gift card deal where if you ordered $100, you'd get 200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
I always get those places get me. I get this fucking City Barbecue gift card. You spend $25 gift card and you get free $5.
oh yeah,
I'm like, I'm already gonna be spending that money. Of course I'm gonna get a gift card.
oh yeah. My mom literally went to my dad. We went to birthday dinner for my dad at Red Robin. My mom bought like 4 gift cards to get $5 extra on each one. Anyway, um, so like for instance, the bowl one, I would say we're doing it at this time. It ends at this time, and
So the whole flash sale is only bowls. It's only this pasta bowl, for
only
instance.
one style of bowl, any color, and I would post it, and then you had to comment on the post. And once you commented on the post, I would send you.
They just commented like a quantity with a color kind of thing.
Yeah. God, I can't even remember. They would comment on the post, and then I would send them a DM. And I can't remember if that DM had a direct link or if I would just. It had to have had a direct link because I was taking payment. So I
Yeah,
would.
they probably yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they would like choose their colors, and then it would go through.
Oh,
And
that's great. So you just
if
need one link. It just goes to the listing.
yeah,
You can
and
go
if
pick your
they
colors over here, pick your quantity over here. Yeah.
exactly, and if they shared it, they got an extra bowl. So
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
or they got like a small bowl with it or something, an additional. So if they shared the post, then they got something. So they would tell me that they shared it. Like I had a little form message that was like, please let me know if you shared it or not. And when they did, I would convert that over to a spreadsheet and like say what they got and say how many they got
Mm-hmm.
and if they shared it or not. And then
Hell yeah.
yeah, and then it
I
would
do remember
usually
that. Those had a
yeah.
lot of shares on them because you can click the share link or whatever on the post and you can see who shared it too.
Yeah, and to give these people like how much money I was making and how little I was selling these fucking things for, I which honestly I still made a shit ton of money. Um the specifically the pasta bowl sale, I sold them for $10 a piece and I made $3,000 in like 3 hours.
Right.
So that's 300 pasta bowls, and that was the last one that I did, I feel like. Um
Because
it
you're
was
essentially doing for people that aren't familiar, you're essentially making them to order is kind of
yeah,
what you're
so
doing. You're
it
not
was yeah, it was
they're not
essentially
ready to
made to
ship.
order. Yeah, not ready to ship. It was just tell me what you want, I'll make it. And people like got whole place settings
Right.
with these
Because
things, like
because they
because
were
I did
essentially getting it at a wholesale price or 40% of retail or something like that.
right because I did pasta bowls, I did cereal bowls, I did cups, I think I might have done plates.
Tumblers? Did you do
I think I
tumblers?
did tumblers. Yep, I did wine glasses. Yeah,
Did you do pinch pots or mise en place or something?
sure did. Sure did. I did
Those were
everything
the
I could think of.
days.
And then I did a gift card one and I made so much money on the gift card one.
The great thing about the gift card is it's not really costing you anything to do the
No.
gift card. I mean, it's on them to come back and redeem it. So,
Yeah. A lot of people did enough so that they could get a whole class. So it was like $180.
mm,
And that one was the tiered one where it was like if you did it in the first hour, it was double. If you did it in the next hour, it was like a third.
oh
So
my gosh, that would be so easy to do if you did the pasta bowl one and you change the prices every hour because it's the listing you already have created on your site. You're sending them the same link to the listing. So you just change the price on the listing
yeah.
at 2 p.m. and then at 4 p.m. or
And
whatever.
then and nowadays if I use the many chat, oh my gosh, it would be completely streamlined. It would be
Yeah.
amazing.
And the
Like
great thing
that.
about Facebook is you were relying on the local support
Yeah,
So
that
like
is
it
the
made
thing.
sense on there. I don't know that Instagram would have the same level of success, but maybe.
No, Instagram does not have the same levels of success because I've done it on Instagram and it does not.
Mm.
So, and I mean, like,
Plus you'd have to ship all that stuff and
I essentially did a flash sale update for the micro cups, the mini cups that I did last
yeah.
year, and the first one did really well, and I think the second one did really well, but it was also a lot of work, and but it's I think that kind of work is totally worth it because you're working for like an hour, you know.
Well, an hour to advertise it and do the work to get the sales, and then you've got to make all the shit.
Well, these ones were already made, so they were already like they got to choose which ones. So
Oh, you're talking about the mug one.
yeah, the mini mugs, but yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't know, Well, it was one of those if you need money, find it situations, and it
I mean,
ended up
that's great.
working.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
And you didn't have an actual like cutoff. You had maybe a time cutoff, but you didn't have a. I'm only gonna make 200.
No, but I think that I did add a cutoff in the end because
Okay.
the 300 bowls was a lot.
Right. I mean,
It's a lot.
that's your work that you're gonna be doing for probably the next month for them, right? Or the
Yeah.
next few weeks.
Yeah, it took
So
a month. And Val had to come help me glaze. Like Aaron had to come help me glaze. Like
that
so
sounds
many
like a
people.
fun project. Like I'm getting fired up, like hearing you talk about that. I mean, I don't know that I would do that. I don't know that I wouldn't have the success that you had at that level, but I mean, it sounds like a fun thing for somebody to try if they're like
I
you're
would,
essentially making wholesale for yourself. Like you're yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, it was essentially wholesale, and everybody was like, "How can you do this so cheap?" And it's like, well, when you're selling 300 pieces at a certain price, it makes sense, you
And
know?
you're working them most efficiently because you're making the exact same thing.
Exactly. So yeah, and I think I did a flash sale or the last year I was in Indy, I did it for the wine cups, the thumb wine cups. So, and that one
Hmm.
worked pretty well too. Um, what I would say is if you do something like that, make sure your glazes are simple. Like we had really strict rules, like only one color on each on each bowl, like they're all dipped in white in the corner, like they were very much the same. And that's the thing, like if you can't make consistent pieces, then you're kind of screwed. And even then I wasn't as good as I am now. And so like, there were sets of six that were completely different than another set of six, you know?
You're talking about the form or the glaze?
The form, like the
The
form.
form. Yeah,
And the glaze
you
is
gotta really
all.
have that locked in.
Yeah, you really do. And like, and if you don't, you have to have enough so that you can pair well
Right.
within the sets and make like a few
Yeah, because
extras.
most people are not gonna buy one of them at that
Yeah.
price at $10 a bowl. They're gonna buy at least two, probably
Yeah,
four.
no, there was so many sets of six, I can't even tell you. Like, and at that point, what you're throwing with a pound and a half for a 7-inch bowl, I mean, that was my most favorite thing to make anyway, so it was easy. But I'll tell you what, bisking all of those bowls was a pain in the ass. And firing them was also a very big pain in the ass because they're 7 inches wide. They take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I would like to get back to that kind of a thing, but I don't have like a hometown community. I'd have to do it with the Instagram community, which is fine. I would just have to figure out how to do that, you
Yeah,
know?
you'd need a home base. You need to like you almost need like a residency somewhere that you can have a home base that you can ship things out of and have space to like produce.
Yeah, I could do that here easily, but also like I would almost want to do it like it'd be fun to do that with the beads. If you had like a certain type of bead that you wanted to do every month or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would be really fun. So
Yeah.
I think I might like think about doing that. And also, oh God, is it One Blue? No. Who's that person that was so cool? Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, she used to sell cabochon pieces. They were like really cool. They go in jewelry and people make like silver jewelry out of them. And she used to post all of them just on a board and number them, and people would comment under it which number they wanted, and then she'd send them links. And she did that for years, and she did quite well. So doing something like that is the best way to do it on Instagram, in my opinion, where you have the pictures with numbers, and you're like, okay, comment, and whoever comments first gets it, that is an easy grab. And in that specific situation, you can set up your listings so that there's only numbers, or there's a number with a picture, and you say, make sure you choose the number that you know
Yeah.
you
And
ask
there's only
for.
one quantity of each one, so you're not
Right.
overselling it. And
Exactly.
it truly is a first come, first serve.
Yeah. And most people are honest enough where they're like, I want 13 and 12. They'll go to the site and say 13 and 12. So,
Right.
and I mean, they could even put it in the comments. Like you could put it, like, I know Square lets you make it mandatory for them to comment something. So they could choose they could say like number 12, number 13. So it makes it easy, if they were like all the same price.
Right.
But it's yeah, I mean, like, that's like a whole fucking theology all in itself, is selling directly from an app.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Justin Rawshank. Every April Fool's Day, he does a half off sale where
Yeah.
everything on his site for the first 2 hours, I think, is 50% off. And then he changes it to 40% off, 30% off, 10%, It just kind of
Yeah.
like tails off throughout the day as items sell, but it's his existing stock. It's not something he's putting a lot of effort into creating new listings for everything because it's already there. So,
Do you know what would be fun? I feel like this should just be our topic because we're almost up. Um, but do you know
I
what
mean,
would be really fun thinking about? I always like to do something for my birthday and like give back, a
right.
little bit for the birthday. And for years I did, however many years I was turning, that's how much off it would be, like
Yeah.
everything on my website. But when you're in your 30s, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot. But I was just thinking of this. I remember one year during COVID, I gave away pieces to paint to kids whose birthdays were in the month of May. And
Ooh.
I did like 10. I think it would be really, really fun if, like, during your birthday month, if you made 30 pieces that were secret, and like beforehand, 30 pieces that were secret, and every day, if somebody bought something, you would send out that secret piece with whatever they bought.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good way to create, like, money still, but give back, but also have fun with it.
How do you incentivize them to buy?
You say,
Oh, you tell them beforehand that you're gonna get a special something, but
yeah,
they
and
don't
there's only
know.
one, like, there's one piece a day, and you can make it like specific. Like
Mm,
every day at 7 p.m. I'm going to release one more piece, and it will come with an extra.
okay. Are you kind of showing them ahead of time for the whole
No,
month, kind of what type of things they could expect?
yeah, it's like a secret piece. Like maybe at the end, like after you ship it out, or maybe after they.
You'd
I don't
almost want
know.
an incentive to get them to share it so they can kind of see the
Yeah, maybe
level of
you
quality
show.
because maybe they think you're gonna give them like a free fidget stone with it.
Yeah, maybe you show all the pieces at the beginning of the month, and then mix them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It sounds kind of like a mystery mug box sale where
exactly.
people just order, hey, these are discounted. They're $25 a mug, and I've got this one mug that's worth $100 in there. You might get it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that
these
might be
other
fun.
ones are kind of what's in the mix, and it's
Yeah,
already a better deal regardless. No mug
and
is
then
$25 retail; it's $40 retail.
make sure if you do like a mystery box, and it is like that, you box them all up before you put addresses on them
Ooh,
and
yeah,
mix
that's
them
good.
up, so that nobody actually, you're honest with your customers, saying like,
Yeah,
if you're my best friend, I don't know what I'm sending you. You know?
right. You just
Yeah,
know that there's a mug in there. Yeah.
yeah.
I
That
mean,
would
it
be
get a
fun.
little wonky if you get people to buy two of them, and then you got to be like, oh, like, am I putting these in a bigger box? Like, what am I doing?
Maybe I should do a mystery bead club.
Mystery bead club. So what? They get one bead?
Yeah. It's like $2
What's
a
the
month.
what's the smallest thing you can ship a bead in? Do you have little envelopes or little padded things?
Well, maybe you get like 10 beads and it's something new every month. I don't know.
Hmm. Oop, as I drop my fidget stone.
Oh,
Hmm.
speaking of fidget stones, we're gonna have to close up pretty quick because you have to leave in 15 minutes. But I went to a show this weekend and there was this woodworking guy, and I got a top that spins really quietly. I'm gonna use it when I'm not on my phone when we do podcasts.
So it's just a wooden top.
Yeah, like for spinning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you ever have those tops that you had the string on it and you like whip it and it
whip it good.
like
He didn't have any of those, but I have used those. He had something else with the string that I bought that was kind of fun. I right now am playing with a Needoh, Needoh, and it's a square, and it always goes back to a square, but it's got something gooey in the inside, and it's so much fun to play with.
neato, neato.
Needoh.
Oh, there was something else we forgot to talk about, but we could put it in post if you want.
Yeah, let's put it in post.
All right, we'll do that. I'm trying to think of something else that's converting to sales, something creative. Are there other creative ideas you've done to get sales? Um, I'm thinking one other thing that I was doing, but it was more like giveaway related. It was just for fun where I always want when people do giveaways, I don't like the randomness. Like I want a little bit of
Yeah.
strategy, like you have a little bit of skin in the game, like you can impact kind of like Mitchell Spain's been doing recently where he's got guess what's in my mug. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
And you have no idea. It's you just know it can fit inside that specific mug size that he's holding in his hand. And it's
Yeah.
completely random. It could be a computer mouse, it could be a dandelion, a bottle of lotion or mouthwash, whatever. And people just guess. If they guess right, they get it. If they don't guess right, nobody gets it. So it's like a fun way to get some engagement. And
Yeah. And stupid, right? It's stupid. And it's
yeah,
great.
it's like whatever people are going to come up with. And then he can use it to challenge himself to try something different that
Yeah, like
somebody hasn't already
he had
guessed.
Gumby in there once, and I was like, Gumby is such a random ass guess. Like I
Right.
would never guess Gumby. But yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I initially brought that was the like spoon rest or whatever. So I usually will like load a kiln fill with spoon rest, the glaze kiln, and ask how many pieces do you think is in this? How many spoon rests are in this kiln? And then people guess, and whoever gets closest, they get a free spoon rest or whatever it
Right.
is. So I don't know. I really like that. And I'm thinking of another. There was one semi recently that I was thinking of that was like a. I wanted to fill a mug with nerd clusters and have people guess how many nerd clusters fit into it,
Ooh, yum.
and then give them the mug plus a bag of nerd clusters. Not the
Not the
ones that I
nerd
stuck
clusters
in
that were
there,
in the mug,
but
but
a bag
separate.
of nerd clusters. And I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. I used to do it so like I had a goal of like getting to a certain amount of followers. So I would say like, "Hey, we're so close to this amount of followers. When we get to if we get to like 1,000 followers and I'd be at like 1,900, I'll give away a mug, but once we get there, and it'll be you have to comment on this post, you know?"
Right. You have to comment on the original post.
Yeah.
Do people still do follower count giveaways?
I have no idea.
I feel like I don't see them that much anymore.
I think it's because like a lot of bots and trolls like do.
Yeah, they take advantage and create spam accounts that want you to pay them something to, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they kind of ruined it for people, right?
they
Always
sure
gotta,
did.
always gotta be somebody to ruin it.
Yep.
Is there, I'm trying to think, I haven't really thought of um because so many people like the Mug Mondays, I'm thinking, is there a way that would be interesting to have a giveaway or some incentive to give something away there? I mean, people aren't really there for my mugs necessarily. They're there for the shelf and who I'm gonna pick. But is there, I'm trying to think if there's something there that I could utilize that attention and like do something cool.
You
Since
could collaborate with that artist somehow.
I wonder if there'd be like maybe if they had a hmm. I mean, a lot of them we do collaborate on the post, but and it's hard to tell like which ones are gonna gain steam or
Hmm.
like gain traction and which ones aren't. I
Or
think it
maybe you
really,
could just do it for fun, you know?
I think it'd be cool if I maybe I pick one that I'm going to give away, but I don't really want to give away one from my collection, but I don't know.
I
I could,
feel like you should leave it the way it is because it's kind of awesome just the way it is. Nobody expects anything except for a cool mug to be shown.
right, right, yeah, yeah. I know people that do some other giveaways and things like that, or to patrons and random email list subscribers to
Yeah.
get some traction there. But that's not really, I mean, that gets away from the sales. You're talking about giving stuff away, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff that has already been done. So you know, if you want to gain some traction, you got to do something truly creative and think outside the box of what you've seen other people do. And it doesn't even have to be in your medium. Like we do a lot of things in our space of giving things away and
Yeah.
ways of doing that, but you can maybe you've seen something that doesn't even relate to an Instagram giveaway, but the way they structured it, kind of like the way the Mug Maiden was doing her,
Yeah.
spinning the raffle. You spend a certain amount of money to get a spin on the wheel, and then it's randomized. So it's like it's a game, but it's also covering your costs and is not so unmanageable that it takes time away from.
Yeah. Also, I think that you have to be all in. You have to be all in. You have to be jazzed about it. And you have to be honest about it too. Like, I think that a lot of and also you have to be okay with, like, especially with like a flash sale situation, you have to be okay with making cheap, like, cheap money, if that makes sense. Like, the bowls were $10, like they were nothing,
Mhm.
but I still made money doing that, you know. I wouldn't have made money now, but I'd probably do them for 15 now, but I'd still make money at 15,
Yeah.
and I think that you have to be like really honest about it. Like whenever I did a flash sale, I'd be like so open about it. I'd be like, rent's due, gotta do a flash sale. Let's fucking go.
Right.
And it would not be planned, by the way. It would be like a day before, like
It might have been a couple days before, but
maybe a
yeah,
couple days, but like
enough time for you to make a graphic that is, and it wasn't crazy. It wasn't, I was building up anticipation for a week and I made a bunch of graphics and I sent them out to my email list. You just had a picture with text on it
yep,
and a
and that was
caption.
it.
I
Yep.
don't even, did you even schedule it beforehand of plan like it's going to go live at this date, or did you just post it?
No, I just posted it. A lot of the times it was me like looking at my books at the end of the month being like, shit, like we got to do this. We're doing it tomorrow.
That was also kind of your brand too.
Yeah.
Need money, find it. So
Yeah.
like if I did it, I don't know that it would come across the same way. So like people have to understand,
Yeah.
they have to
Agreed.
know about you and what you're doing. Like I think you mentioned before, selling a soda kill and unload and you sold the pieces as they were being unloaded or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. I think for me I don't want to put in effort with no reasonable confidence of it being worth it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, am I putting too much stake on the unload of, oh, I'm doing all this so that I can have great results, but it's taking away some of the joy of the unload for me?
Right.
Because it's kind of like if sometimes I've done live unloads of the soda kennel a couple times, I think, and it kind of takes some of the joy away because you kind of want to live in the moment and like truly be able to experience it and not
Yeah.
have to be like, I'm doing this for showing the camera. I'm doing this for myself
Yeah.
or
For sure.
whoever else is there. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think that did you ever like do lives and document while you were making those pots for the flash sale?
Sometimes, but also we have to go.
I know.
Sometimes I did, but I feel like those were not as popular.
Hmm.
Any last words, Ryan?
Hmm. I'm gonna say find a workshop that interests you and go do it. I didn't. You don't have to know anybody there. I wouldn't say I was worried about it, but I was like, I'm not gonna know anybody here. I think it's fine.
And you did it, and you had fun.
Yeah, and you have fun, and you just kind of you have flexibility. You have time to yourself. I got done with the workshop the one day at 5 or 6 o'clock, and then I went back, took some of the leftovers from lunch, and didn't go back out. And I'm like, I'm just chilling, scrolling social media and all that shit. And then I'm like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No rush. I got time. Just chill
Indeed.
out. Yeah. So that's my advice.
My advice is kind of similar to the question I was going to ask you, but if you have never seen the show MASH, I was watching it today and openly laughing in work because it was so fucking funny. It's on Hulu and you should watch it.
I have probably watched one episode of MASH.
Well, I think that if you really want a starter episode, watch 5 O'Clock Charlie. It's season 2, episode 3, I think.
Do I have to watch on Hulu because I don't have Hulu?
I don't know.
There's too many streaming services. I got Amazon Prime and I got Netflix. That's about it.
Yeah, but Hulu has The Golden Girls, Bob's Burgers, MASH. It's got so many fucking shows.
I don't watch any of those. I've
Yeah,
never
well,
watched
that's
any of those.
that's why you're boring. Okay.
All right. Thanks
I'm
everybody
kidding.
for listening.
You're not boring. Okay.
We'll catch you
Thanks.
next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Wheel Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.